Welcome back to Catnap Review. Today, I'll be introducing a brand new action romance blockbuster of 2023, Ghosted. Our main character, Cole, is a down-to-earth farmer who sells his fresh produce in the city. One day, he notices Sadie admiring one of his potted plants. He's instantly captivated by her fresh and charming appearance. In that moment, he feels like he has finally found purpose in his life. So, after Sadie finishes her shopping and starts to leave, Cole gathers up his courage, runs up to her, and stops her car.
Well, I was just wondering if you wanted to, go out sometime.
Are you serious?
The two stroll along the riverside, holding coffee cups and chatting endlessly about their dreams and ideals. Sadie finds herself drawn to Cole's gentlemanly demeanor, and the chemistry between them quickly intensifies. From strangers to lovers, their bond solidifies within just one evening. In the days that follow, Cole's life feels like it's filled with joy. He even tells his parents about this wonderful connection, convinced that Sadie is his soulmate. But just a few days later, Cole finds himself feeling lonely and frustrated because Sadie suddenly disappears without a word. He sends her numerous messages but gets no response, leaving him to wallow in confusion and self-doubt as he wonders how he might see her again. Then, a thought crosses his mind. Due to his habit of misplacing things, Cole often attaches tracking devices to his belongings. During their meeting, he had slipped one of his trackers into Sadie's bag. Something that now turns out to be quite handy. When he checks the tracker, he's stunned by what he sees.
London.
England?
Although Cole has never traveled abroad before, he decides to follow his heart and fly to London with his parents' encouragement. Soon after arriving, he tracks down Sadie's location, thinking he's about to see her again. But before he can reach her, a group of men confronts him. Cole, sensing danger, attempts to escape, but they block his path. Two burly men grab hold of him while another administers a sedative. When Cole regains consciousness, he finds himself in a dark cave filled with venomous insects. The men around him are talking about some kind of code and referring to him as the taxman. Cole is bewildered. He's just a simple farmer trying to surprise a girl he likes. How did he suddenly become some mysterious taxman? The leader refuses to believe him, thinking Cole is lying. He pulls out a hornet the size of a fist and threatens, "If you don't talk, this little guy will give you a few stings to remember." Cole is terrified, but just as the hornet is about to be shoved in his face, something unexpected happens. His rescuer is none other than Sadie, the girl he's been longing to see. Cole can't believe his eyes. Without saying much, Sadie swiftly takes down their captors with her expert combat skills and sharpshooting, leaving them no time to react. Shocked, Cole asks, "Who are you, really?" Sadie coolly replies, "CIA operative." Only then does Cole realize that the woman he believed to be his soulmate is actually a secret agent. After eliminating the last of their attackers inside the cave, the two make a run for it, but as they reach the cave's entrance, they're met with a convoy of pickup trucks carrying heavily armed mercenaries speeding toward them. Just when they think about making a quick getaway in a car, they witness something. Their pursuers relentlessly chase them, firing continuously. Cole's suitcase doesn't escape the hail of bullets, getting completely shredded. Up ahead, their path is blocked, so Sadie slides smoothly down a hillside, while Cole awkwardly tumbles after her, rolling down in a clumsy display. Meanwhile, the pickup trucks keep speeding after them. Learning from his earlier mistakes, Cole attempts to copy Sadie's slide, this time with a bit more finesse. Yet, their attackers remain hot on their heels. With no other choice, they take cover behind a roadside boulder. As Cole provides cover, Sadie rushes out to commandeer a passing vehicle. She forces the driver and passengers out, and the two jump in, quickly reversing to make their escape. The attackers soon catch up, but Sadie shows no intention of slowing down.
You know what you're doing? Have you done this before?
I'm gonna let you think yes.
As the assailants' gunfire pelts their car, Sadie remains unfazed. Spotting an opportunity, she swerves sharply, sending one of the pursuing pickups crashing over a cliff. But when the others close in to box them in, Sadie pulls off a daring drift. Spinning the car around, she rams straight into another pickup, causing Cole to lose his balance and nearly fly out of the vehicle. As they burst out of a tunnel, Cole, barely hanging on, finds himself dangling precariously out the car window. Sadie uses the car's momentum to swing him back inside. As Cole struggles to regain his balance, he notices a man about to attack Sadie. He quickly tackles the assailant, throwing him down to the floor of the car. Amid the struggle, Sadie seizes the moment, slamming the gas pedal to ram the final pickup off the road. But just as they think they've escaped, a motorcycle catches up with them. Another determined pursuer, unaware that this chase would be his last. On the car's roof, Cole wrestles with his opponent. The man gains the upper hand and, in a split second of Cole's distraction, manages to pull out a knife and stab at him. Cole, desperate, grabs a nearby cactus and smashes it into the man's face. As the assailant recoils in pain, Cole seizes the chance to kick him off the car. Meanwhile, Sadie battles her own opponent. As he attempts to take aim, Sadie slams the brakes, sending Cole and her attacker hurtling forward. She swiftly swerves again, launching the man off the car.
Go! Are you comfortable?
With their pursuers finally taken care of, their battered vehicle gives out and grinds to a halt. It can go no further, leaving them stranded. Cole, panting and sore, slumps down beside the cactus that saved his life. Elsewhere, the gang leader seethes with rage, infuriated that his prey managed to slip through his fingers. He puts a bounty of $1 million on Cole's head, alive. Not long after, Cole and Sadie make their way to a bustling night market on the border of Pakistan. Hoping to ditch Cole, Sadie meets up with an old flame, offering him a wad of cash to take Cole home while she stays behind to complete her mission and retrieve the encrypted lockbox. She leaves without looking back. Left alone, Cole finds an unexpected camaraderie with Sadie's ex. They head to a nearby bar, planning to drown their sorrows with a few drinks and vent about their respective miseries, but their moment of bonding is cut short. A gunshot rings out. It's a bounty hunter, certain he's about to claim the hefty reward, but then, out of nowhere, another man appears, taking down the first bounty hunter in a single swift move. However, this newcomer is just another hunter, eager for the same prize. Meanwhile, Sadie and Cole decide to place their bets on a nearby car for a quick escape, but as they approach the vehicle, another bounty hunter appears, thinking he's the lucky one this time, but just a moment later, he's hit by a car, driven by the first bounty hunter, who immediately collapses on the ground, unconscious. Sadie quickly rushes over, snatching the gun from his hand. They interrogate him, finding out the location of the bounty hunter's exchange. With the information in hand, they make a quick escape, driving away. On the way, they argue fiercely. In his frustration, Cole blurts out everything that happened in the cave, which catches Sadie off guard, causing her to slam on the brakes.
He thinks I have the passcode?
Yeah.
And you're telling me this now?
Cole snaps back, his frustration boiling over, launching into a rant. Sadie, unable to hold back, erupts in anger at him, but then, just as suddenly, she regains her composure. When Cole comes to, he finds that Sadie has handed him over to the gang leader, pretending to be a bounty hunter herself to claim the reward. As the leader arrives, Sadie spots the briefcase containing the code in the hands of a bodyguard. The leader assures her that once they land, the money will be hers. Soon, everyone boards a private plane. Sadie discreetly whispers to Cole while untying him, revealing that her plan is working. The next step is to get the briefcase and make their escape. However, before they can finalize their plan, the leader pulls out a phone. It's a picture of Cole and Sadie together. Their plan unravels instantly. Realizing the bodyguard holding the briefcase hasn't reacted yet, Sadie seizes the moment to strike.
Can't believe you took a picture of me while I was sleeping!
Not of you, of us!
Despite her skills, Sadie struggles against the trained and powerful bodyguard. He quickly overpowers her, pinning her to a table with a knife pressed against her side. Seeing the dire situation, Cole grabs a tablecloth, using it to blindfold the bodyguard. Sadie springs up, and together they manage to subdue all the leader's men on the plane. Cole then finds a parachute in a nearby compartment, straps it on, and drags the injured Sadie toward the emergency exit. As soon as the door opens, they leap out into the sky. They land on a deserted island, where Cole sets up a makeshift shelter using the parachute to shield Sadie from the sun. After a while, Sadie wakes up, but when Cole approaches, she shoves him away with all her strength. Cole clutches his face in pain while Sadie realizes that her wounds are no longer severe. Cole had used medicinal leaves to stop the bleeding. When she spots the briefcase with the code nearby, Sadie is overwhelmed with relief and joy, struggling to find words to express her gratitude. At this point, all they could do was sit and wait for rescue. However, the gang leader had already called for backup, and they soon found themselves ambushed. Gunshots rang out among the trees. Fortunately, a SWAT team arrived just in time, swiftly taking down the leader's men. But amidst the chaos, one of the henchmen managed to grab the briefcase with the code and escape. With the mission incomplete, Sadie and Cole were summoned back to CIA headquarters. The higher-ups doubted Sadie's ability to continue the mission and suspended her, advising her to go home and await further investigation. Meanwhile, back at HQ, they discovered a dead plant in the home of the tax agent. Cole, with his background in agricultural research, deduced that the DNA codes mentioned might have been extracted from this plant species. Using his analysis alongside the CIA's data, he suggested this could be a key clue. At the same time, Sadie contributed a strategic idea. They could use a segment of the code that the tax agent had prepared for sale to lure out the gang leader. The code is split into 4 parts. We'll give him one. If he successfully uses it to unlock the first level, he'll definitely be interested in the remaining segments, giving us a chance to retrieve the briefcase. As expected, Cole was chosen once again to play the role of the tax agent since he had already had a direct encounter with the gang leader. Knowing that if the plan failed, the gang leader wouldn't spare his family, Cole agreed to the risky mission. Despite understanding understanding the dangers, Sadie tried to dissuade Cole, but being suspended left her without any authority. Cole, prioritizing his family's safety, decided to go through with the plan. Before long, the gang leader received the first part of the code, which easily unlocked the first layer. Even though he suspected it was a trap, he was too desperate to pass up the opportunity. A while later, Cole arrived alone at the designated meeting spot. Agents waited outside, keeping an eye on the briefcase containing the remaining codes. But just as they were about to make their move, Cole heard a barrage of gunfire through his earpiece. Panicking, he asked what was happening. The agent on the other end, using his last bit of strength, warned Cole to flee immediately. Just as Cole prepared to run, he remembered the threat to his family and decided to stay. Soon after, the gang leader arrived with his client and a group of bodyguards. Anxious, he pressed Cole to hand over the rest of the code. Nervous, Cole rambled on to buy time, glancing around for a way out. But just as he found himself out of options, he saw Sadie, elegantly dressed in a stunning gown, walking toward him. He couldn't take his eyes off her. Sadie joined Cole at the table, and despite the tense situation, the two couldn't help but exchange jabs. Ignoring the gang leader, Sadie addressed the client directly, proposing that once the briefcase was opened, she would receive a payment of $10 million. To the client, this amount was trivial if it meant gaining access to the contents of the briefcase, so he quickly agreed. Sadie didn't waste any time and inserted a memory card into the briefcase. One by one, the final 3 segments of the code unlocked the case. When the briefcase opened, it revealed the biological weapon the client had been after. True to his word, he transferred $10 million to Sadie. But this outcome didn't sit well with the gang leader, who clearly didn't want things to end this way. He threatened Sadie, but she had come prepared, using the $10 million as a bounty. She offered a reward for anyone willing to take the leader's life. Before he could react, a man behind him pressed a gun to his head. In an instant, the other bodyguards also drew their weapons. As both sides faced off, Sadie reached for the biological weapon. A fierce battle erupted, with gunfire echoing through the building.
Are you ready?
Wait for what? No, I'm not. I'm definitely not.
The two worked well together, but just as they were about to make their escape, one of the gang leader's henchmen knocked Sadie down. Cole seized the opportunity and tackled the attacker, sending both of them tumbling down the stairs. The henchman grabbed a gun and fired at Cole, but his shot missed and hit the building's mechanical gears, causing the entire structure to shake. Cole, meanwhile, was pinned dangerously close to the gears. Just as he was about to be pulled in, he managed to turn the tables, throwing the henchman into the machinery. Meanwhile, Sadie was locked in combat with the gang leader. The strong centrifugal force sent both of them crashing into the surrounding glass windows. The gang leader took advantage of the situation, pinning Sadie down and pressing into her wound with his hand. At that moment, Cole managed to reach the top of the stairs. Seeing Sadie in peril, he was overcome with rage and launched himself at the gang leader, knocking him aside, but the glass floor beneath them began to crack. Realizing the danger, Sadie quickly grabbed Cole's hand and threw him to safety. The gang leader, taking advantage of the distraction, lunged for the biological weapon. Sadie, mustering all her strength, reached for a nearby gun and fired 2 shots at him, but he dodged them. Just then, Sadie noticed that the decorative structures overhead were starting to sway dangerously. She aimed her remaining bullets at the supports. Within moments, the decorations collapsed. Sadie managed to secure the biological weapon. And that's the end of the movie.